So, I've been putting off this video for quite a while, but I feel like I owe a video just to say, where have we gone? I believe maybe some of the last was us pulling honey. I think I put up a video of that. Just to be honest with you, man, this year has really kind of sucked, and really, I wanted to be upbeat. I wanted to kind of show the good side of everything, but what I am really finding out is you can't always just show the good side. And so I'm going to kind of take you back through this year, the great year of 2020. But what I wanted to say is that, you know, it was a good year, and the fact that we're all here, well, most of us are. And so we really have a lot to be thankful for, even if the honey flows were off and everything. If you remember, we started off, we got a bunch of packages. We moved a bunch of bees down to catch all the gallberry flow. We were all excited. It was our first year to catch all the gallberry flow. And I mean, we were just gallberry, gallberry, gallberry. We got them there, and we got them there probably 2 weeks before the gallberry flow was supposed to start, right at the end of tie-tie. And shoot, man, we put a lot of tie-tie in the hive. And we thought, wow. And so it seemed like we came down, and you know, of course, we were still feeding everything up here. But down in South Georgia, we'd go down and think, hey, you know, we gotta hurry up and get down there because this gallberry is going to be on. And every time we went, it just seemed like there wasn't any gallberry. And you could look and you could see the bloom, but apparently there was no nectar in those blooms. And so, it was very disappointing, especially because we had another 20 hives that we brought down there in that second yard that really, quite honestly, dang near starved to death because there was just no flow. And so there was a little bit around, and they flourished on that, but none of them did any good there. And in the end, by the time we pulled the honey, they'd pretty much eaten all the tie-tie that was in that had been in there. We probably got maybe one super hive on the first yard, and I don't know, it just was very disappointing. And then add into that, every time it was the height of summer, and every time I tried to make a video, I put the camera out, and I use a 4S2 Sony, and it's a quality camera, good video. But every time I put it out, it seemed like it would overheat because the sun, and I wasn't even recording at 4K, and the sun would get on it and it would just literally overheat. And so we'd do all this stuff, and I'd end up with, I don't know, 15 minutes worth of footage at the very beginning, and after that, nothing. And so it just agitated me, you know. I mean, it's one thing if your job is to produce videos and kind of act like you're a apiary, but it's a whole nother thing whenever everything's going to crap, including your videoing. And so, I just kind of got to where I was just like, you know what, I'm just not going to make a video. And so I took some of the stuff I got off my camera. I think I had some GoPro, and our GoPro, I need to actually get a GoPro. I have a cheap Amazon GoPro that doesn't record audio well. And right now, even I'm sitting here at my job, and I'm talking on my phone. But I just thought I would give you an explanation. Add into that all the COVID stuff. The guy who we went down to his yard for the very first time. It was an old personal friend of Roy's, and he passed away due to COVID. That was probably June. And so, it just seemed like this year was, and then add to that, up here, where we usually get a really, really, really good privet flow. I mean, like really good privet flow. just didn't seem like there was any privet at all. In fact, the funny part is that we got quite a bit of sourwood flow from Pine Mountain that we had been counting on for like 7 years and didn't really get any of. And this year it seemed like that was about the only crop that we got, that, the tie-tie, and of course, you know, the clover that was around, and the wildflowers, but not the big privet, flow that we had thought. So we missed the gallberry. I don't know if we missed it or it didn't happen. The privet didn't happen. And so now we went down, we took 40 hives and went down to cotton. And cotton's kind of a love-hate relationship, because it's a good chance to really get them on a good flow and for them to build themselves up, so that you don't have to feed them, because right now we're having to feed everything that's not on cotton. And so it's a good chance to do that, but the problem is that the honey crystallizes. We make a creamed honey out of that, and it's really good, but you know, it's crystallized honey. It's a lesser grade of honey. The rain stunted them. Then we had that big the hurricane come in and pretty much washed everything out. And I'd say we're getting ready to harvest cotton honey probably next week, if our regular job doesn't beat us to death. And I'll try to get some video of that. I'll try to get some video of us in the honey house. We've been working over here on feeders to a pump with a hose reel that runs off of a generator, so that we can just put 55 gallons in there and run down to the field, pump it all off just like a gas pump. And the other thing we did was we bought a used spin float, a Cook and Bill spin float, and we're going to put that into our honey house, which is it's really kind of created a lot of problems as far as figuring it out, because you got to get a progressive cavity pump. Those aren't cheap. The thing it's the spin float isn't cheap. You also need to get a heat exchanger. Those aren't cheap. You need to get some sort of conveyor or some sort of mixer or agitator to mix everything together to break up all those all the cappings. And so really it's taken a lot of engineering, and we're not engineers, and so it's kind of like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, it feels like, plus a couple of pounds of cash. And so but that's just the way it is, it seems like, in the bee business. But now, other than that, we've had a few dead outs, but nothing huge. We've really had some good response. They're doing good. We plan on overwintering, I think, everything down in South Georgia, down in Omega, and we've got a couple yards, and I think they'll do a lot better there, and we'll get an early start. Maybe we can even make some packages to sell, or to just divide up to where we can increase. Anyway, we started off, I can't remember how many we started off with, but it's probably the least amount of losses so far that we've had this year, which is funny but we've been feeding a lot, and right now you just got to feed them. And so in the off time, we've been making a bunch of pallets to get ready, getting together a lot of supers, repainting a lot of stuff, and like I say, getting all this honey house fixed. This year we only had, I think total, not including the cotton, I think we had a total of 2 barrels of honey, and that's horrible, really. But had we gotten out and gotten the honey from down south, you know, we would have probably had 4, because they probably ate 2 barrels of honey sitting down there, us waiting on the gallberry. Had we known that it wasn't going to happen, it was our first year, we didn't know. But we would have gotten down there and got it, but we just kept waiting and waiting and waiting, and by the time it was just too late. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know, kind of hard to be happy sometimes, but in the end, the bees are still flying. They're eating what we give them. We did have some honey and less dead outs, so that's something to be thankful for. And we all have our health, and that's another thing. So if we can make it out to 2020 with just that, and going into increases next year, I think maybe we'll make plenty of videos. If not, I'll have to reevaluate it. But anyway, I just want to let you know that's what's going on. So this is Doc from Gaffla Bees, wanting you to be happy.